There's a lot of fantastic brand new anime series out there that you've got to check out. With some brilliant story arcs and fresh new ideas, we can't help but fall in love with these super strong male leads. Welcome back to Animeology, as we jump into a brand new list of new anime that you probably haven't even had the time to check out yet. Number 10. Darwin's Game. An awesome action anime series based on a manga series that is still running to this day. We seriously hope the next season got delayed to the lockdown, and we can't wait for a return. Following a 17-year-old high schooler by the name of Kaname after he accepts an invitation by a friend to play an interesting new video game called Darwin's Game. Kaname doesn't realize that the game he signed up for is actually a fight between life and death. Players are given a sigil, which is an ability that varies from player to player. Kaname is now trapped in the epic game of murder and conquest, and with no choice but to push through, finish the game, and find and kill the game master. Number 9. The Case Study of Vanitas. An interesting blend of dark fantasy, the supernatural with a fresh steampunk aesthetic. The Case Study of Vanitas has a visual style and world design that is extremely rare to come by. The series itself started off as a long-running manga that is still ongoing. Set in the 19th century Paris, the tales of vampires and other spooky otherworldly beings are to be had here. The story focuses on a young man by the name of Vanitas, a doctor that claims he's able to heal vampires using the instructions outlined in his powerful book, using it to help cursed vampires. Critically acclaimed and universally loved due to its awesome action sequences, brilliant characterization, and effective comedy. The visual and fantasy elements in this anime really help set it apart from the rest. Number 8. Tsukimichi. Moonlight fantasy, hard fantasy, and starting off as a self-published work, Tsukimichi has actually seen a strange journey since its creation. But luckily enough, this awesome new series is set to see anime form and is one of the most exciting original series out there. The web novel origins of this series have allowed it to enter some heavy themes and controversial arcs that you usually don't see coming through the traditional manga publishing route. With a solid fanbase that's fallen in love with it, we expect the upcoming anime series to push the boundaries of fantasy anime. The story follows Misumi Makoto, a high schooler summoned into a fantasy world by the god Tsukuyomi to become a hero. However, our young MC is outcast by most of the world's inhabitants, including its resident goddess, and is forced to travel and make his own way in order to protect and defend this new world. A classic adventure-type isekai that introduced a very interesting cast of characters and isn't afraid to deal with some extremely emotional themes. Web novels have always pushed the limits, and we guarantee that the anime adaptation of this one definitely will do the same. Number 7. Suppose a kid from the Last Dungeon Boonies moved to a starter town. An interesting adventure fantasy anime series that plays around with the fantasy genre a little more than you'd expect. Developing in a unique way, it is the lovable cast that keeps this a series that we kept coming back for. With an inherently funny core, this is a series that still develops and thrives off of some traditional action and fantasy scenes. We follow Lloyd Belladonna, a surprisingly weak teenager from the legendary town of Kunlun, leaving his town to become a soldier in the kingdom's army, known as a useless weakling that can't even perform the normal jobs in his town. We soon learn that this town is one of the most dangerous regions across the world, and that Lloyd is actually insanely powerful by outside standards. Regardless, our MC is generous, kind, humble, and happy to help. A fantastic cook that refuses to believe just how insanely overpowered he actually is. A brilliant sense of humor and a fantastic sense of adventure. This is a series that you don't want to miss out on. Number 6. 86. An awesome military science fiction series with some awesome mecha action scenes and a beautiful romance story at its core. 86 has been around for a while, but was incredibly difficult to adapt. Manga fans will tell you that its surprisingly complex story and world building make this no simple anime adaptation. Set in a world that's been ravaged by war for the past 9 years, we learn of these crazy battles between powerful mechas referred to as juggernauts, driven by handlers known as 86. We soon learn more about these pilots. Poorly treated by both the government and Republic, hated by most, and treated less than most. We meet many interesting characters from across the conflict as we soon get drawn into the many epic battles, the crazy dark secrets, and inhumane acts that could very well turn the tides of battle forever. Number 5. Combatants will be dispatched. A fantastic light adventure series that started off as a web novel and has since seen a lot of success as a light novel and manga. The highly anticipated anime finally got revealed this year to a huge wave of excitement from fans across the community. With season 2 just around the corner, there's no better time than the present to get involved with this universe. We learn of a grim future in which the evil Kisaragi Corporation has spread and conquered most of Earth. This huge beast of a company is looking to spread its operations across the universe to other planets, sending Combat Agent 6 and its brand new combat droid Alice to this magical fantasy world through its revolutionary teleporter. After arriving in this fantasy realm, the two find themselves drafted into the military of this fantasy world. An interesting balancing act of juggling the state of this fantasy world whilst remembering their underlying mission of universe domination of the Kisaragi Corporation is an interesting and unique backstory that the main characters need to constantly juggle. Number 4. The hidden dungeon only I can enter. A brilliant fantasy harem series that started off as a light novel but has since been adapted into both light novel and manga form. The Hidden Dungeon is an exceptional harem series that really sets itself apart from the rest in some interesting ways. These hidden dungeons are legendary and well-hidden places that are extremely hard to find, yet filled with rare treasures and other magical items. We follow Noir Stadia, the third son of minor nobility, and has the powerful ability of great knowledge. Noir teams up with his childhood friend Emma. As the two set off and aim to become adventurers, we start to learn more and more about our heroes. Noir is an anime MC quite unlike any other, a self-proclaimed coward who would like to take it easy. With a collection of interesting powers and additional characters that all naturally add to the strong core storyline of this anime, we can't help but tune in and just follow along with the journey of Noir and the many beautiful women that begin to surround him. Number 3. Battle Game in 5 seconds. An awesome anime adaptation based on a long-running manga series. Based on a highly popular webcomic series, we definitely recommend checking out Battle Game in 5 seconds because we guarantee that you're going to fall in love with it. We learn about a new kind of battle, one filmed with awesome new techniques and abilities that are geared towards the new generation. We follow Akira Shirayanagi, a high schooler that loves nothing more than eating candy and playing games. One day, Akira finds himself in a fight due to a mysterious girl by the name of Mion. Mion is telling everyone in the high school that they've been completely wiped out of all records and are about to become test subjects with insane powers and abilities. Akira uses these newfound powers to climb the ranks and ultimately crush this organization. With some seriously unexplained and imaginative powers and abilities, this is a seriously awesome series that has kept us on the edge of our seats from the very first episode. Number 2. Moriarty the Patriot. A brilliant anime series with a strong focus on crime and mystery. Those familiar with this name should think back to the world-famous Sherlock Holmes series. But this is not an anime about the iconic detective solving crimes, but rather a prequel series that focuses on Sherlock Holmes' arch-nemesis and major villain, William James Moriarty. Set in the late 19th century with the British Empire at the height of its global domination, a major wealth divide between the rich and the poor and the badly behaved nobles ruling all over it. We follow the Moriarty family as they adopt 2 orphans. With a strong hatred of nobility, the the orphans plan to murder a cruel, blood-related brother and burn down the family estate in order to start a new life together and use illegal methods in order to destroy the crime system that is the major cause behind Britain's problems. After a while, we start to meet a young Sherlock, and the game of cat and mouse really begins, with some brilliant turns and plot devices with two masterminds on opposite ends of good and bad. This is an anime series that had us on the edge of our seats. Number 1. To Your Eternity. An absolutely brilliant high-concept anime that takes things a lot slower than most series out there, far more paced and a lot more emotional than what we're used to. The story is of an immortal being, Fushi, and it's one that you can't miss out on. The original creator of this manga series was inspired by her own grandmother's death. The passing of a loved one she was so close to inspired her to create the original manga series, which finally saw a brilliant anime adaptation this year. The story follows the immortal Fushi after they arrive on Earth as a plain white orb, taking the form of objects and animals and people it encounters. The journey from a rock to a wolf to a young boy, traveling and learning more about humanity. To Your Eternity truly is an anime series unlike any other. The slow reveal about the true nature of Fushi and the dissection of what it truly means to be human or to even be alive had us thinking long after the credits had rolled and the episode had ended.